There we go. All right. So welcome everybody, guys. We're so excited to have you. Thank you for joining us, for taking your time to sit down and be a part of this One Team University training. We are grateful to have you, and all I ask is that you really take this time to eliminate distractions and really focus on the trainer that we brought you tonight, because he is one in a million. PK Smith, I first met him at an event last year, and it was actually a really funny experience because for those of you that don't know Daryl Daniels, he was kind of our security guy for the meeting we had, the Super Saturday. And he was checking everybody's bands, and PK tried to get through, and he stopped him because he didn't have a band on. And it was pretty, it was pretty hilarious to see Daryl Daniels trying to stop PK from entering this meeting. And we had to, give him the okay. He's okay. He's allowed in. And the next day, I was able to attend his training and was blown away by his simplicity and by the easiness at which he runs his business. And his methods have been so useful for me and my team. They've been very duplicatable. And that's why it is my honor to, first of all, to have him here tonight. And I'm so excited for what you guys are going to take away from him. He is an amazing father, a good husband, a very, very good husband. He listens to his wife and he does what she says, and he'll, you're shaking your head no, but we all know who runs the house. And anyway, I really don't need to say anything more about this man. He's going to introduce himself, and get ready to be entertained. Please note down your questions, because I know he's going to do some Q&A at the very end, and we can't wait to hear from you guys. All right. Last thing is, make sure you go to your top right corner, and if you click on speaker view, it'll make it to where you're just seeing PK as he's talking rather than the whole gallery of people. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer over to him. PK, you can unmute yourself.
I already have.
Oh, beautiful.
I was just being quiet. You didn't think I could be quiet. You thought I was muted.
I'm shocked.
As was said, I am a good husband. My wife says I'm pretty good. We've been married 30 years. We just celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary last month, and we've been together since we're teenagers. We were 17 and 19 when we started dating. And we've grown up together. We were children when we started dating, and now, well, you see my beard, I'm no longer a child. I was pretty thrilled the other day, though. I went to buy an alcoholic beverage at a store, and they carded me. And I said, I don't understand. How does anyone that looks this old get carded? And he says, no, it's just the rule. Everyone gets carded. So it's the only time it's ever happened in my life, and I said I would tell everybody that. It's never happened to me before. So tonight we're going to learn about how do we convert people to consultant. How do we make it so that people are open to get their products paid for? And it's a bit of a gradient we want to take people on. If you got a lot of background in your noise in your room, could you hit the mute button? Because I'm hearing everybody else's room. I was teaching a Zoom call to Australia one day, and the gal that was leading the call forgot she was on camera. And how do I say this? Things weren't feeling well in her bra. So the phrase we use in our house was she rearranged the girls, but she rearranged the girls on camera. And we're all yelling at her. I won't say her name. We'll say her name was Trisha. It wasn't Trisha. Trisha, Trisha, Trisha. And she can't hear us, and she's got her hand right down inside the shirt. And the girls are getting a maneuver. And I was the only man on the call. I was really quite uncomfortable with the situation. So please, if you're on camera, let's keep all our hands where they should be, okay? Away from this area and away from this area, all that kind of stuff, okay? Let's talk about the transition. One of the mistakes that people make early on in their business is they don't understand what an enrollment is. They think their job is to get someone to drink a shake. And so they sell a lot of shakes, but they don't realize that's just the first step to an actual enrollment. The fastest growing teams in the world make managers on purpose. They're not an act of God. They're not a comet going through the sky. There's a deliberate plan. And with what we're going to share with you tonight, it fits in so great with Isagenix's new plan that you have 60 days to get someone to Crystal Manager. So if you look at either the site that I put it on today, what was the group that I put it on today, Trisha? I put these 6 touches in the first 30 days on something today. Can you tell me what that was? No?
Isn't that the pro page?
Yes.
Together Strong Pro?
The Together Strong Pro page, but also if you go on to www.evolvedeconomy.com, there's a little Word document you can download, or you can download it off the Together Strong page. And what it is a little form I want you to get used to using with every single enrollment. I don't want you to try to keep any of this in your head. In fact, if you could learn one thing tonight, stop using your brain as a warehouse, start using it as a factory. If you want to get something down, write it down. Follow lists of things. Don't try to remember things. Why? It reduces ingenuity. It reduces your creative spark when you're constantly trying to remember something. So on this, at one of those sites, you'll find this sheet. It's called the 6 touches in the first 30 days. And what it is the understanding that if it takes 4 to 6 connections in order for someone to say yes to the product, it's probably going to take more than one explanation in order for them to be open to getting their products paid for. So we offer 6 very distinctive conversations we have over the first 30 days. The idea being that we'll convert someone to consultant and getting their products paid for in the first month. Then we'll do exactly the same touches the next month with their 2 associates. So your first person goes Crystal Manager. So all you need to learn to do is faithfully apply these 6 touches, one layer after the other. It's not a hard thing to do, but it is a hard thing to keep track of. And that's why we encourage you to use this form. At the top of the form, you'll see the person's name and contact information. And then you'll see their health goal. Why are they starting the product in the first place? And what pack do they start with? We can't get into it now, but there is a script so that your average enrollment can be a President's Pack or a Paysetters Pack. If you go to the Evolved Economy on Facebook, there's a script right on there. You don't need to add to the script. Read the stupid script. Why? It works. The international average for enrollments is 8% President's Packs. When we use the script, that jumps from 8% to 30 to 100% President's Packs. We have a number of people that since they've used the script, no one's ever bought anything below a President's Pack. Why does that matter? Well, the President's Pack has the longest retention rate. That gives you more weeks or months to get someone to consultant, where the 30-day tends to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're on it for 28 days. We want more time than that for their product experience, but also for their chance to get their products paid for. So when we begin, we want to begin with that idea. All we want to help them do is get their products either highly discounted or completely free. Now, that means we don't jump into, well, you can become an Isagenix millionaire by Thursday. We don't do that. We don't say, hey, let's build the business and let's all retire by Friday. We don't say that either. They've made a significant investment in their health. We want to get back all of that investment in the first 30 days. That's all we're trying to do. Why? Because most people don't believe the money exists until it's in their pocket. So you can talk about the millions you can make together, but until they've seen a little cash, you're kind of full of crap. We don't try to convince them with anything but cash. So we start at the beginning. Touch number 1. And that is that we always share an opportunity tool as well as a product tool during the enrolling process. Now let's be clear. The average enrollment takes 4 to 6 connections over 4 to 8 months. That's normal. I know we always hear on stage about people who joined instantly, but lots of Isagenix millionaires took a lot of touches. In fact, there's an Isagenix millionaire couple that I know are in this training that they told me it took them an entire year. Now, I'm not suggesting that Chris isn't a smart person. I'm not saying that. And don't intimate that I said that about Chris Hart, because I didn't say that. I know some of you think that, but I didn't say that. But it did take him a year to say yes to the product. And he's such a quick learner, it only took him another year to start the business. Right? This is all where we think, wow, who would have had that much patience? Don't you wish you enrolled Chris and Lori? Don't you wish you followed them up all those times? If you know it takes that many connections, you have to have a plan for how you're going to make those connections. It can't be when they pop into your head. I recommend that you have a not now binder. Everyone that you talk to and the answer's no, you turn the no into not now. How? This is the phraseology. I completely understand. There have been times in my life when I couldn't do something new like this either. I understand the timing isn't perfect right now. But you know, I have some business partners outside of our local area that might love these products even though the timing isn't perfect for you. I would so appreciate a referral from someone like you. What do? We take a sour no and we turn it into not now, and we end the conversation with a compliment. Some of you, when you hear no, you're so shocked, you put on poopy face. That's why people screen your calls. They don't want to see poopy face anymore. You don't make poopy face. You put a smile on and you go through the not now process. Why? You're going to circle back to that person in 6 weeks. Get all my thumbs in. 6 weeks. Why? Anything can change in a month and a half. Anything. And the number one reason why they didn't join isn't the lie they told you. It isn't because they don't like shakes. It isn't because I really like food. It isn't because it's too expensive. It isn't because I don't like network marketing. And it isn't because I don't like you. That's what you thought. It's actually because they're scared. They're afraid of failing. It's personal skepticism. How do we know this? Because we interview people after they've joined and ask about the lies they told. And then we ask for the truth. What was the truth? Oh, I was just scared. I didn't think it would work. I didn't want to be embarrassed. So what do? Every 6 weeks, we reconnect with them and we pour belief into them. Conversation sounds like this. You know, a few weeks ago, you showed some interest in making a great investment in your health, but the timing wasn't perfect. Just wondering if times have changed. Maybe today's a great day to make that investment in your health. I know this can work for you. Why? Because that's their real challenge. Personal skepticism. So once they've joined, we start this process, knowing that it's going to take more than one explanation in order for them to say yes, just to getting their products paid for. So touch number one at the top of the list. We share an opportunity tool as well as a product tool during those touches over 4 to 8 months. Now, two of our favorites, some of you are very, very young, and you look very, very young. I'm not in the start group, but my children are. That counts, doesn't it? I love the startyourlife.com opening montage. This isn't an instructional video. This is an inspirational video we're wanting to share. We're not doing you plus two, them plus two yet. We're just inspiring them. That startyourlife.com opening 3-minute montage is golden. Share with any age group. Absolutely love it. The one other than that we like is the Isagenix difference. Now, specifically, we like that one because of one example that's in it. Dr. Rick Lee from Toronto. He clearly states that he's a practicing chiropractor and an Isagenix millionaire. Why? We don't want to make people think this is an either or situation. You're either going to do Isagenix or you're going to be a doctor. You're going to do Isagenix or you're going to be a teacher. No, this is an and. Isagenix is a revenue stream. This is no different than your family investing in a rental property. Why? You've got to put in a little work every week to keep up that rental property, but over time, it creates more revenue. Same thing with an Isagenix business. We don't want to even hint to people that they have to choose. This is something you can do in the pockets of your time and create financial freedom at your pace. It's not an either or. So that's the first touch. We want to share an opportunity tool as well as a product tool. Now, the second touch is the generous referral bonus. Now, if you've never gone to my YouTube channel, go to YouTube, type in PK Smith. you'll see my channel. Subscribe to the channel so when I throw up new stuff, you'll get a little notice. Here's new stuff from PK. On there are 2 or 3 videos we're going to refer to tonight. The first one is called the Generous Referral Bonus. It sounds like this. And we do this the same moment that they retire. We're not retire. The same moment that they sign up, and we've got the message from Isagenix that their order is going through. They've signed up. They're an associate. We say these words. So you've just got started with a President's Pack. Well, Isagenix has a very generous referral bonus system. We know in companies like Amazon, the #1 reason why a customer picks a particular product is a positive referral from a fellow customer. Well, unlike Amazon, Isagenix will actually reimburse you for a positive referral. So let's say 2 of your friends decide to join you here the first week, and they join with President's Packs. You would get back $420 in referral bonus money. And if 3 people join you the first week, you'd get back $634 in referral bonus money. Now, you may wonder where that money comes from. We don't put our products on the shelf at Walmart. We don't have an ad on television. And there's no stadium anywhere in the world that says Isagenix on the side of it. Instead, we reinvest that money with people who give us positive referrals. That's the explanation. Why? Because frankly, that's mostly what people ever do. They get their products a little discounted or free. Most people will go consultant and manager. A few will go further onto executive, but most of your people, you're meeting them where they're actually beginning. And that's just getting their products discounted or completely free. Now look at the numbers with me for a minute. $420 the first week. That's 160 plus 160 double PIBs on 2 President's Packs, which is $320, plus $50 because they became a consultant. And we recommend that you offer what we call a Crystal Consultant bonus. And all that is, if anyone becomes a consultant in your first 7 days, you match the bonus that Isagenix gave them. Now, it's no money out of your pocket because most of you haven't made your first 20 consultants. So Isagenix gives you $100, split it with anyone who is willing to do it in the first 7 days. Why? Because it works. Kent and Kelsey Byers from Houston, Texas, they hold the record. They made 6 Crystal Consultants in 7 days in September. 6. Now, every one of those enrollments took 4 to 8 months. But when they enrolled, they went consultant in 7 days. 6 of them. Why? Yeah, Kent and Kelsey put a little skin in the game. They had a little money more in there. Now, the other number is what happens if 3 join. Well, it's 160 plus 160 plus another 160 for $480 in double PIBs when 3 people join with President's Packs the same week. Plus $50 for becoming a consultant, $50 for becoming a Crystal Consultant, and because of the BV, you're going to cycle the first week. $634, which means if 3 people join the first week, your pack is free. Now, why do we tell people that? Well, I'm cheap. And if something's free, I'm going to tell you. And 2, most people want to pick the compromise number. So if you tell them to get 2, they get 1. So we tell them to get 3. They still get 2. It can't be that simple. It actually is. It really is. If you look at your tree and you see a whole bunch of pirates, right? That's only one down, one leg. That's a pirate. Why? You told them to get 2. What did? They got 1. Tell them to get 3. If you offer the Crystal Consultant bonus, the Pacesetter Pack, the President's Pack, and the Business Builders Packs, all 3 of them are free when 3 friends join them the first week. Boom. Why not tell them? We don't tell them because we're usually stuck in a mindset where we only tell people what we did. I don't want you to do that. I want you to tell people what can be done, not just what you did. For instance, many of the leaders on this call, what they did is already obsolete because Isagenix changed the compensation plan so much in January. When they added the 5-cycle match for your first 5 cycles, that didn't exist when David Norrie joined. It wasn't there. He also wasn't allowed to go 1-star when he was a manager. He had to wait till he was an executive. And he wasn't allowed to go 2-star when he was a director. He still had to wait till he was executive. Isagenix tilted $3,500 into the front end of the build in January. And we couldn't have done it because it didn't exist. Don't tell people just what you did. Tell them what can be done. So the 3 sets of numbers you've got to know. If you're offering the Crystal Consultant bonus, with the 30-day, when 2 people join, they'll get $200 back. If 3 people join, they'll get $250. With the Pace Setter pack, if 2 people join, they'll get $300 back. If 3 people join, they'll get $400 back. With the President's pack, if 2 people join, it's $420, and if 3 people join, it's $634. Those are the only numbers you need to know, and the willingness the same day you enroll them to just make this light touch and say, these are the generous referral bonuses that are available to you. Now, truth be told, 90% of the people aren't going to go for it. They're going to say, I don't want to tell anyone until I know it works for me. Have any of you ever heard that before? If you haven't heard that before, you've never enrolled anyone before, because everybody says it. We plan on them saying it. In fact, we did that second touch ready for them to say it, because when they say that to us, we don't argue with them. We agree with them. In fact, we say, of course not. I wouldn't want you to share it with anybody unless you knew it was true. You knew it worked. But here's the great news. I happen to know you're going to have measurable results by the 5th day of your nutritional experience. So much so, I'd like to make a date to talk to you on your 5th day, just so I can hear the list of all the things that have changed in 5 short days. Now, the verbiage for that is on another video on my YouTube channel that's called the Day 5 Miracle Phone Call. The Day 5 Miracle Phone Call. Now, when you call someone back on that 5th day, they're going to have a list for you. Now, they're going to have a list if you tell them there's a list. If you don't mention a list, they'll only pay attention to the 1 or 2 things they were looking to see changed. If you tell them there's a list of things, they'll actually notice the other things, especially if you made a date to talk to them on the 5th day to hear about their list. So they might say, I've lost weight, reduced some inches, I'm sleeping better, the mental fog has lifted, I'm basically a better human being, I haven't kicked a cat in like 3 days. Things like that. When you hear the list, that's when you would say, remember a few days ago when we were talking about the generous referral bonus and you didn't want to share it because you didn't know it would work, and I was pretty sure that by today you'd know it works. I think you know it works. Why don't we talk to 3 or 4 of your friends? Just tell them how great you feel and see if they don't want to enjoy the same results you're getting. This has to happen on day 5, because on day 5, you can still remember day 1. You remember feeling like crap on day 1. You feel amazing on day 5. If you wait to ask this question on day 7 through 14, yes, they'll have a longer list of results, but they will have forgotten day 1. And they begin to suffer from something that I call isagenix amnesia. That's where they forget that their results came from isagenix. Maybe you've experienced this before. Someone's lost, 4,000 pounds in their first month. But by then, they're quite sure it's because they went to the gym. Yes, you went to the gym, but that was just for a membership. You never went back. No, I'm sure it's because I bought some new sneakers. They're still in the box, stupid. You never walked anywhere. Sometimes when people suffer from severe isagenix amnesia, deep inside us, we want to punch them in the throat. Don't do that. That is very bad. Very, very, but it's what you're thinking when they're saying, I'm not sure isagenix did this for me. Punch, throat. Don't do that. Very bad. Instead, have the 5-day miracle phone call. When they can still remember, I just started this 5 days ago. Wow, this stuff really works. That's what creates the elation. that overcomes their reluctance to share this with their friends. That's why the day 5 miracle phone call works. Does that make sense to everybody? Good. Now, if you'll do the first 3 steps, you can see up to 20 or 25% of your associates choosing to begin to share their story by day 5. Now, we're doing that on purpose. There's only 6 touches in 30 days, but 3 of them are in the first 10 days. Why? Because it takes time to sign people up. We're trying to get people to consultant inside that 30 days. Why? So we can do the same process with their 2 associates. It's your first person to crystal manager. Why? We only need consultants. No, we don't. We need managers. We desperately need managers, especially if you've been doing the business for more than a year. Why? Because you got to start enrolling off someone else's list. If you make a manager, you turn 1 enrollment into 7 enrollments. That's a 1 to 7 leverage. It's the only way you can do this business forever, is to enroll off other people's lists, not just your list. In fact, in Australia, they have a saying. It's be a manager, make a manager every 30 days. Be a manager, make a manager every 30 days. Now, be a manager just means I'm going to make 2 consultants every 30 days. And then one of those consultants, I'm going to get all the way to crystal manager. Why? Because that's turning 2 enrollments into 10. But 8 of those people are strangers. That's leveraging your business. Now, I call it the Grand Slam month. Now, the Australians don't call it a Grand Slam month because they're from Australia and they don't play baseball, which proves how wrong they are, right? Their toilet goes the wrong way. They don't play baseball. Screw them, right? So we use another term. The Grand Slam month is make 1 consultant and 1 crystal manager every 30 days, and you're hitting a grand slam in your business every 30 days. Make sense? Good. Let's skip forward. That was day 5. We skipped forward from day 5 all the way to day 14, and 2 things change. The first thing is very important. In fact, if you printed off the list, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but when you get there, draw a line right above day 14, because from here on out, you're not going to talk about getting their original order paid for ever again. From here on out, 14, 20, and 30, we only talk about getting their auto ship order paid for. Why? This is day 14 of their experience. It has been 17 to 20 days since they ordered. They've had a paycheck or 2. So the motivation of getting that original order paid for has shrunk. So what do? We talk about the auto ship order. We talk about getting their 2nd month for free for the next 3 touches. Why? The last one's too far ago. So remember that line right in the middle. 14, 20, and 30, auto ship only. 5, generous referral bonus, everything else, the first order. Okay? The second one that we're going to shift is on day 5, we ask them, what did you notice? On day 14, we ask, who else noticed? This is the day 14 compliment call. Now, this is important for their business and also for their product experience because of body self-image. My daughter was 18 when she went on Isogenics 6 years ago. And the day that she started doing Isogenics, we threw out the scale. There was no scale anywhere in our house. I have no idea what my daughter weighed. Why? She's my daughter. What do I care what she weighs? I'm not selling her by the pound anytime soon. Don't care. And her entire experience was without knowing her numbers, just how she felt and her changing shape. Why? Because she was 18. The last thing I wanted in her mind was thinking that that number meant anything. Why? Because it's dangerous. And she had a very successful experience. She told me years later that she released 55 pounds. And I said, good for you. I didn't really care. Again, not selling her by the pound anytime soon. She has since become this jock, and now she's putting on lean muscle mass and is really kind of proud that she can pop a bicep off her arm. But she's a professional horse trainer. She burns 2,500 calories every day of her life. So I'm succeeding because I've now got her up to 3 shakes a day. I'm trying to get her to 4. Why? She's not eating enough. And in our family, if you take in the right amount of nutrients and you take any kind of exercise at all, you grow muscles. She actually was able to put on 2 pounds of lean muscle mass in 3 weeks, which is pretty hard to do. Why? She was putting in enough calories. But for years, she was 19, 20, 21. I'd see my girl pulling her shirt away from herself. Nothing there. Why? She'd released 55 pounds. There wasn't anything to pull away. Now, if you've ever had a little belly, what do? You don't let your t-shirt stick to it. Why? Shows off you got a belly. So what do you do all the time? You're always pulling your shirt out. Constantly. Shirt comes out. Right? Looks like you got bugs. Why do you do it? Because you're self-conscious about how you feel about your body. A big part of what we do for people is begin to reinvent their own body self-image. You see, our self-image is usually just repeating the statements that someone else who meant something to us said to us or said about us. My mom wasn't very forgiving when it came to that stuff. She thought I got too big after I got married. I was really skinny. And so she would send me a sweater that didn't fit on purpose at Christmas. And I would say, Mom, I'm not a large. I'm 6'1" and 200 pounds. And her answer was, yes, but you shouldn't be. That's just weird. Okay? I'm a grown man. What do you mean I shouldn't be? But that's how my mom thought. Why? Because she always had a poor self-image about her shape. So what did she do? She projected it on her son. What did I do? I ignored her. I don't care. I'm 50 years old. I'm as strong as I was when I'm 30. I can do stuff now at 50 that I couldn't do in my 30s when it comes to endurance, stamina. Rode my motorcycle 14,000 miles in August and September this year. Just to put it in perspective, if you go east to west across all of the continents on roads, it's only 12,000 miles. I did 14. Why? Well, I'm stupid. But I've also got the energy for it. Why? I've been putting in superfoods for 7 years. Got energy to burn. How much do I weigh? I don't know. My wife's not selling me by the pound. What does that matter? I don't know. My jeans fit. My t-shirt fits. That's all that matters. Body self-image. The day 14 compliment call, you're going to ask someone, hey, you look great. You must feel great. Other people must be noticing. Tell me a great compliment you got recently. And unfortunately, some people are going to think everyone's going to say, you've lost weight. When in fact, almost no one dares say you lost weight. Why? Because it suggests that 14 days ago, I thought you were fatty. I'm not going to say that. Hopefully you don't have friends who would say, hey, 2 weeks ago you had 3 chins. Now you've only got 2. Way to go. Those are awful friends. Don't send them cards. They suck. But there are code compliments. Like, well, guys, we've actually all been trained. Men only say one thing. You change your hair. Because we can't get in trouble over hair. There's no way to get in trouble. Or is that a new, no, guys aren't doing this part. This is all chick hair, right? Okay. Hey, is that a new outfit? That looks great on you. Something's different about you. You seem to be in a great mood lately. Now, this is true. One of my mentees, over a coffee break, a male counterpart said, are you pregnant? And she said, no. Are you sure? Dude, back up. What do you mean, am I sure? Well, sometimes you don't know. One more question like that and you're going to HR, dude. Why are you looking at me like that? He says, I'm not looking anywhere but your face, dear. My wife's had 3 babies, and she only had this glow on her face when she was pregnant. And because he was an idiot, he did it again. Are you sure you're not pregnant? And she said, thank you for the compliment, and you suck at compliments. You got to help people see other people are trying to compliment you. They're trying. Now, if you have a negative body self-image, you will deflect that stuff like your Teflon. In fact, most of you, if I were to give you a compliment, first sound I'd hear was laughter. And laughter means, haha, you're full of crap. Or we'd start playing ping pong. You look great. No, you look great. No, you look really thin. No, you look thinner. That's a nice dress. Your dress is nicer. No. 3 steps to receiving a compliment. Step number 1, smile. Step number 2, say thank you. Step number 3, shut up. Stop talking. Let it rest on you. Why? The longer the compliment rests in silence, the surer it is reconfiguring your self-image, and you'll start repeating it to yourself. This is an important part of someone's journey. I have 2 children. My son is a monster. Really, I love him. I'm going to Africa with him in May. I wouldn't want to go to Africa with anyone other than my beau. Why? He's as big as a house. He's been as big as a house for 10 years. In fact, he was bigger than me when he was 14. I'm not little. He was 335 pounds when he was 15 years old, 6'4", 28-inch thighs, 22-inch arms, big as a house. And when I was growing up, if you were massive, everyone called you sir. But in our modern days, where you're not allowed to punch people in the face, that's not what he got called. And I've seen what it's done to him. I've seen people say things to him and him shrink because they don't think they're hurting the big guy's feelings. Now, it's funny, I've got my Africa shirt on. These are my little African kids that we feed in Africa. We were in Africa a few years ago, and in Africa, fat is a compliment. You got to get used to this. If you got a little, I say, boys have 6-packs, men have kegs. If you got a little keg going on, they'll actually pat your belly and say, "Oh, Abusa, you are so fat. Congratulations," which is very difficult to take. Well, Corb and I are in the front of a Corolla. I'm a 46 tall. He's a 52 tall. So it's just Smith right across the front of the Corolla. And this chubby little cop that I know leans in the window and says, "Oh, this is your son, Abusa." I said, "This is my firstborn son." And he says, "Well, firstborn son, you're as fat as your father." Corb grabs the door handle like he's going to get out and like street fight him. And the guy said, No, it's a compliment. If you're fat, you're doing good. Well, that night, a very demure Malawian girl who knew this much English was feeding Corbin his pizza he'd ordered at a pizza joint. And as sexy as she could say in English, she said, "You're as fat as your father," and walked away. And Corb turned 16,000 shades of red. And because I'm an ass, I said, "She wants to love you. She wants to hug you." And then he hit me. That's what he does. Now, we can joke about it because we're buds. But man, people's body self-image is crushing. In fact, one of the myths, especially women say, I'll really start sharing this when I get to my ideal size. Because while I'm still on the journey, no one wants to hear from me about weight loss. Bull. They actually want to join you when you're still on the journey. They're not looking for perfect. There's plenty of perfect on TV that discourages the heck out of them. If you still got a little junk in the trunk, talk to people with junk in the trunk. Why? You're on the journey. You're on the journey with them. This compliment call allows them to start receiving those statements that begin to rebuild their body self-image. One of the ways that Sandy and I have been happily married for 30 years is we've never held each other hostage about body image. My wife's always battled her weight, and I've loved her whatever size she is. Why? Because I have tied my libido to whatever size she is. That's what I'm interested in. And so, you know, there are skinny little chicks out there. That's cool. I'm just not interested in you. Why? My girl's got curves. I only like curves. And I really only like her curves. You got curves? That's cool. Go show them to somebody else. Why? Key to a happy marriage is keeping your libido tied to whoever your partner is. I've changed too. I've changed so much that people who knew me 25 years ago don't know who I am. Why? I'm a lot bigger guy. They know Sandy. They don't know me. What has she done? She's tied her approval to whoever I am today. What's that do for us? Gives us a very healthy body self-image. This day 14 compliment call begins to reshape that for them. After they realize other people are noticing, we would say to them, you know, why don't we talk to 3 or 4 of your friends? Maybe even some of these folks that are noticing the change. Maybe the compliment's coming because they'd like to experience what you're experiencing. That way we can go backwards. No, sorry, we can go forward and pay for that auto ship order that's going to be processed in the next week to 10 days. You'll already have all the money prepared to do it. And your second month of nutritional superfoods will be completely free. Pointing forward. Skip forward to day 20. On day 20, this is in response to the coaching bonus. Just to be clear, it is not a $25 coaching bonus. It is a sliding PIB. It's $25 if their auto ship is a 30-day. It's $50 if their auto ship is a Paysetter pack. It's $80 if their auto ship is a President's pack, and it's $150 if their auto ship is a Business Builders pack. Now you may say, we all knew that. I tell people every week who don't know that, so it's just a rule. I tell everybody. Now, what do we do? 3 steps. Step number 1, review their progress so far. Remember, at the top of this little list we have their original health goal. So we call Bob. Hey, Bob, how you doing? Doing fantastic. How far have you got? Hey, I'm down 12 pounds. 12 pounds, you rock star, you. I'm looking here. Your ultimate goal is 35. Yeah, I still got 27 to go. Well, how about we make your second month health goal be another 15? Would you be happy with that? Man, if I could do 12 or 15 this month and 15 next month, I'd be rocking it. Fantastic. So we're clear. Your second month health goal is going to be 15 pounds. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Pause here for a second, folks. If your retention sucks, it's because you're not setting the second month health goals. And that's because you're too busy with your next enrollment. That's why Isagenix created the coaching bonus, to get you to pay attention to long-term auto ship relationships. That doesn't happen by accident. That's why we do the steps. Review their progress, make their second month health goals, and then recommend the appropriate pack that will be the best value to reach that goal. Now, some people, I even had an Isagenix millionaire tell me, well, no one's going to have a President's pack on auto ship, are they? Actually, yeah. If they want all 5 pillars of health into their life until they reach their goal, yeah, they are. In fact, in Australia, I know we just made fun of them, but we'll talk nice about them now. In Australia, it's very common for someone to say, you need all 5 pillars until you reach your health goal. Just have your President's pack on auto ship. In fact, they had that as a rule before we were even allowed to have President's packs on auto ships. Why? Let's get people to their ultimate goal. They entrusted you with a very private fact, and that fact was where they'd like to be in their health. They didn't tell everybody, they told you. Take that sacred trust seriously and hold people to their goal. When they see the value of one of the packs, they'll probably shift to one of those packs for their auto ship, which will help them reach their second month, and it'll get you a coaching bonus at the same time. Last touch is day 30. It sounds redundant, but it isn't. 3 steps to it. Step number 1, this is because people can't add. Step number 1, you review what is in their ISA pantry. Why? Because you're going to say, hey, Bob, what do you got? Hey, I got no troubles. I got 2 canisters of shakes. I'm ready for my second month. Step number 2, hey, Bob, what was your second month health goals? I'm going to lose another 15 pounds. Are you going to do that with 2 shakes a day? Absolutely. Hey, Bob, you can't count. What? 2 shakes a day runs out in 14 days. You got to order in 10. Are you kidding? No, I'm not kidding. Number 3, you're going to need a mid-month order. If Bob runs out on day 14, he's going to wait anywhere from 2 to 5 days to get back on track. And in those 2 to 5 days, he's going to go back to some pretty bad eating habits. And he's going to bankrupt most of his progress that he did in the previous month. It takes 5 minutes to do this call, guys. Review their ISA pantry at the beginning of the second month. Why? When they realize they need a mid-month order, we say, why don't we talk to 3 or 4 of your friends? Have them join you in the second month. That way we can go backwards and pay for that auto ship order that's already in your ISA pantry. And we can go forward and pay for that mid-month order. Your entire second month is completely free. Now, some of you are thinking, but we just did this with the day 20 call. Oh, did you think everyone was going to believe you? They don't. The average auto ship's still less than $200. You can't get to your goal in $200. Now that's funny because I'm a former police chaplain and I just did a doobie joke, right? That's funny, right? But I'm Canadian and it's almost legal there. And everybody know the police chaplains always have the good weed. Just a rule, yeah. So those are the 6 touches we encourage you to do in the first 30 days. And now we're going to open up for any questions you may have about all of this spaghetti that I just threw out the refrigerator. Trisha, how do we do the next part? Oh, she doesn't know. How do we do the next part? Trisha says, I don't know.
PK, can you hear me? This is John. I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, John Oliver?
Yeah, what's up?
No, wait, no wonder I can't see you. You're so tall, you're not in the camera.
I have to raise the camera up. I got a quick question. I know it wasn't part of what you talked about, but the
Sure.
PK pack, are you still teaching the PK pack? I mean, I know I still present it to couples,
Yeah.
but I didn't know. I know we hadn't talked about that, and I might be going really ahead of the game. But
Well, if you look at the script that's on the Evolved Economy on Facebook, it shows you how to go from the top down, Business Builders Pack, President's Pack, Pace Setter Pack, Introductory or 30-day pack. And then right below there, it does explain the PK pack. And all the PK pack is, if you split a Shake and Cleanse pack and a Business Builders pack between a couple, they end up with the Rolls Royce of 30-day experiences. And David and Angelique were just teaching this live on Saturday and sent me a picture of them teaching it. All it is you enroll, let's say, the wife with the Shake and Cleanse pack. She enrolls her husband with the Business Builders pack. Then the same week, you enroll someone else outside of their family with the President's pack. Because it's done the same week, she gets a ton of money back. She gets $160 back from the President's pack, $300 back from the Business Builders pack, $50 for going consultant, $50 for going crystal consultant, and $54 because she cycles the first week. She just made $614. At tax time, they're going to get anywhere from $200 to $341 back in their taxes. We claim the smaller number so they can be surprised when it's larger. So they get $814 back. Well, a Shake and Cleanse pack plus a Business Builders pack is roughly $1,300. Take $814 out of the $1,300, that's $486. It's cheaper than one President's pack or 2 30-day systems. What do you get? Shakes, Ionics, and Cleanse for 2 people for 30 days. Aegis Essentials and Product B for each gender for 30 days. Plus, E-Shots, Isolites, Bars, Whey Thins, Fiber Snacks, Joint Support and Joint Cream, Brain Support and Sleep Spray, enough Rejuvenate skincare for her to use on herself for the entire month, 5 shaker cups, an international business license, a domestic business license, a huge discount off a large event for the next year, a lookbook, and a 90-day game plan workbook.
boom.
Boom! Drop the mic.
And they still don't put replenish in there. But anyway.
I know, but you know they don't ask me these things, right?
If they
By the way, let me just add one little thing, and I have been saying this to corporate. They may think I'm high, but I think it's a really good idea. I believe we should have a $5,000 Business Builders pack. I know, that's insane. But it's only a Platinum Business Builders pack. But for $5,000, you would get every single product in every flavor it comes in full canister and box form. $3,000 to $3,500 worth of product, plus free VIP attendance for you and one guest to celebration, New Year's kickoff, all of the Isagenix universities, and all of the universities in action you want to attend for the next year. Now all your trainings in the box. Plus, because you came in as a platinum builder, you would immediately be given the cell phone number of your regional sales director. You do not call the helpline, you call your regional sales director because you signed him as a platinum business builder. And it would come with 500 PIB, $1,000 double PIB, and 3,000 BV. If you put one on a focus leg, you'd make 1,500 bucks. Ding! Why? Because if you mention the $5,000 Platinum Business Builders Pack, the regular Business Builders Pack is 80% off. And the President's Pack is 90% off. Who would ever buy a 30-day? No one. I don't care if anyone ever buys a Platinum Business Builders Pack. I just want a larger top end. Make sense?
Definitely. Thanks, PK. Appreciate it.
No worries. Any other questions? No? This is impactmalawi.org. It's our little mission. Take a look at some of the stuff we do. We have no overhead in North America other than mailings. So if you're ever interested in giving that actually ends up on its spot, all of our staff in North America have our own businesses. We receive no paychecks. When I go to Africa, I pay my own way, cover all of my own costs. So all of your money ends up taking care of these kitties. And these kitties right here who are eating, they're all eating because of Isagenix. They're in the middle of a drought. And in their culture, when you have a drought, you don't feed this age group. You let them die. And then you have more babies when the drought is over. We found that out and put their need up on Facebook. And in 16 hours, we raised enough money to feed 500 children for 52 weeks, all from Isagenix Business Builders. Going to head back in May and film some fresh stuff so we can show you guys all the cool stuff that's happening. But that's why we do what we do. And you need to have a reason why you do what you do. I get up in the morning for one reason. I co-create wealth in the first world to erase the pain of the third world. There is one world too many. If you don't have something that makes you stay up late and get up early, you're missing the urgency that's absolutely required to own your own business. Find something that makes you go. Without it, you'll just cruise Facebook. You won't get on the phone. You'll make up excuses for not making connections. Why? Because you're not uncomfortable enough with your situation. My next mission in Africa is a $5 million mission. I got work to do. I got work to do. And that's what keeps me up late at night, and that's what gets me up early in the morning. If you don't have that thing, find a vision. Find a reason that's beyond yourself, not just trinkets and baubles. Don't just go for that stuff. Do something that matters after you die. My son is known as my firstborn son because when I'm too old to go to Africa, I call him Bobo. Bobo will be there in my place. Find something that drives you like that. It's the urgency you need to actually want to do this business. So, thanks, guys.
PK, you are absolutely amazing. Here I am laughing, and then 2 seconds later, I'm crying. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, I just have to do a little plug here for the events because maybe some of you don't realize that right now this is an event. You know, this is a gradient to events, and this is a perfect place to plug people in that are interested in learning how to do this, you know, and this will get them to a bigger event, these calls, right? So use these, leverage these because they need to hear people like PK. They need to get plugged into this culture and this family. I have to say my very first event, and who has their tickets? Who has their tickets to, let's say, Celebrations coming up, right? Yeah, so who has their tickets? I'm going to click the gallery view here. Everybody, raise your hand if you got your tickets to Celebration. Awesome, I'm seeing a lot of hands. I'm seeing some hands lowering. All right, and who has a ticket to an event other than Celebration this year? On, raise those hands. Okay, I know in Arizona here we have University in Action happening, and I hope that many of you are going to be traveling in to visit us because the UIAs are so powerful. And I've been to 4 University in Actions, and I just keep going and I keep taking more people. And so the reason why I share this is because I loved Isogenics from day 1. And week 4, I found myself at NYKO in Dallas, Texas, and I had just hit manager, and I was 1 away from hitting director, and I was on fire. So I mean, I already saw the vision. I was so excited, and so I was already going. But at NYKO in Dallas, my mind was completely awakened to a whole new realm of thinking. What I thought was big went to here. Right? It just totally exploded. And I saw and started dreaming. And we are surrounded by a world that is completely asleep. They don't know what they don't know. They're in slumber. And it's my personal mission. So PK talks about what's going to keep going after you die. It's my mission to waken people up, to help them see what they don't know and how great they are and how powerful they are and what they have to offer the world. That's your mission, is to awaken your teammates, right? So we have to use that grading of events so we can get them to an event, because I'm telling you guys, I'm a big dreamer. I have a very rich mindset. But at NYKO in Dallas, Texas, I was truly awakened to a much, much bigger picture. And it's there that my business really took off from there. And so, I look at an event and all I can think about is how many people can I get to that event? How many people can I take with me? All right. So University in Action coming up. How many people are you going to send to that event? And how hard are you going to work to get them there? Celebration. How many people are you taking with you in your downline? Right? I'm just looking around the faces here. How many people are you going to take? And these next calls, how many people on your team are you going to get on these calls with you so they can experience what you're experiencing right now? Okay, so that's my just quick message plug in there for the events coming up. I hope to see you guys, and I'm a big hugger, so please find me and give me a hug because I just thrive on those. PK, I know there are a few questions for you. I have some hands raised, so can you just give us a few more minutes and answer these questions? Would that be all right? Heather and Nelson, do you have a question you wanted to ask?
I am really enjoying it, but I don't have a question.
You don't have a question? Okay.
No.
Okay. Let's see. Calvin Brooks, did you have a question? Okay. All right. CJ, did you have a question, then?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I was just wanting to talk to PK about, he used to give a speech at one of his trainings about that $10,000 question that you should bring up to new associates and really get them to tell you what they could do with $10,000 in 6 months. And I've since been to a couple of trainings that he doesn't go through that anymore. I'm wondering if was that a compliance change? Are we not supposed to attack it that way? I try to use that, but if I'm going up the wrong tree, I want to get out of that range for sure. I'm not sure if he's still with us. Is he still around? PK?
Let me see here.
I think he disappeared maybe.
You know what? Yep, he's actually gone, and I'm sorry. So I wrote that question down, and I'm going to go ahead and ask it, and I'll have him post a reply so you can get it. Really good question. I know that he's training some people out of country at 8 o'clock, so he had to jump. I didn't realize that. So anyway, thank you guys. Are there any questions that you guys have before we get off tonight?
That was awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and open the lines then if there's no questions, and you guys can say goodnight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye,
Guys.
Good night, Reese's. I see you, cute girl.
Okay.
There's a full one.
Thank you, Trisha.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Bye. There's a little one again.
Good night. Oh, all these cute faces. Love you guys.
Genetics YouTube.
Good
Visit.
night, guys.
Just sent Mila one isogenics video.
All right.
I didn't know you could go back.